In this lesson, you'll learn to find the midpoint of a segment on the coordinate plane and find the distance between 2 points on the coordinate plane. How are the midpoint and distance formulas used in emergency medicine? A square grid is superimposed on a map of eastern Nebraska, where emergency medical assistance by helicopter is available from both Lincoln and Omaha. Each side of a square represents 10 miles. You can use the formulas in this lesson to determine whether the site of emergency is closer to Lincoln or to Omaha. Recall that point M is the midpoint of a segment PQ if M is between P and Q, and the length of PM is equal to the length of MQ. There's a formula for the coordinates of the midpoint of a segment in terms of the coordinates of the endpoints. Basically, what we're looking at is averaging the x coordinates of our ordered pairs and averaging the y coordinates of our ordered pairs. In geometry, we actually graphed the points and folded a piece of paper in half and found the midpoint physically. The graphing program draws a line segment on a computer screen so that its endpoints are at 5, 2, and 7, 8. What are the coordinates of its midpoint? Okay, so we're going to average the x coordinates, so the 5 and the 7, and average the y's, 2 and 8. 7 plus 5 is 12. Divided by 2, and 2 plus 8 is 10. Divided by 2, we get 6, 5. Now, I was saying we average the x's, average the y's. The more accurate term would be to say that the coordinates of the midpoint are the means of the coordinates of the endpoints. Mean is a better term for average, more precise. I'm going to run through the development of how we made the distance formula in geometry real quickly. Recall that the distance between 2 points on a number line whose coordinates are a and b is the absolute value of a minus b, or the absolute value of b minus a. You can use this fact in the Pythagorean theorem to derive a formula for the distance between 2 points in the coordinate plane. So if we want to know the length of this segment, it's a vertical line, so it's the difference in the y coordinates. A horizontal segment would have the difference in the x coordinates. So Pythagorean theorem, we have a right triangle. We can do a squared plus b squared equals c squared, or in this case they labeled it d. So instead of a, we've got the difference in the x's. Instead of b, we've got the difference in the y's, but it's okay because we don't have to use foiling or anything and multiply these out for piece sake. So all we're going to do is put numbers in and plug and chug. The distance between 2 points with coordinates x sub 1, y sub 1, and x sub 2, y sub 2 is given by d equals the square root of the difference in the x's squared plus the difference in the y's squared. This bit with the absolute values here is to emphasize that in mathematics, distances are always positive. They ask us to find the distance between the 2 points negative 4, 1 and 2, negative 3. The difference in our x's, if we follow the formula, we'd have x sub 2 is 2, minus x sub 1 is negative 1, minus negative 1, I'm going to put plus 1. And the difference in our y's, if we do y sub 2 minus y sub 1, we get 3 squared plus negative 7 squared, which is 9 plus negative times negative is positive. Don't type negative 7 squared in your calculator. It'll give you negative 49, which will give you the wrong answer. Use your noggin, or use parentheses if you must use your calculator. So we get square root of 58. Now, of course, you could get a decimal on your calculator, but they were fine with the exact answer, so we'll leave it there too. This is a horribly devious question. What a brilliant way to write a multiple choice distance question. Which point is farthest from 2, negative 3? So they're going to make us do the distance formula 4 times for one problem. For A, the difference in the x's is 2. I don't care about the negative because negative 2 times negative 2 is also 4. And the difference in the y's is 3. So we have square root of 13. For B, the difference in the x's is 1, and the difference in the y's from positive 2 to negative 3 is 5 units, so it's a distance of square root of 26. For C, the difference in the x's from positive 2 to negative 3 is 5, and from 0 to negative 3 is 3. So 5 squared plus 3 squared is 34, so we have square root of 34. And from 4 to 2 is 2 units, from negative 3 to 1 is 4 units, so 2 squared is 4, plus 4 squared is 16, so I have the square root of 20. So of our 4 choices, the square root of 34, or choice C, is the largest distance. The two formulas that we looked at in this lesson were the midpoint formula, where we find the mean of the x parts of our coordinates and the mean of the y parts, and the distance formula, which looks an awful lot like Pythagorean theorem. Difference in the x squared plus the difference in the y squared.